counts. Your old self will try to pull you away. Your new self is begging you to stay. If you're ready to speak to yourself with compassion, let's flood this space with commitment. Type in the comments, "I choose kindness." Number 1. Your thoughts are not facts. Your brain generates about 6,000 thoughts per day, 6,000, and most of them complete fiction, stories, assumptions, fears dressed up as facts. Yet you believe them, you treat them like gospel truth, like divine prophecy, and they're destroying you from the inside out. When you think, "I'm a failure," that's not a fact. That's a feeling wearing a disguise. When you think, "Nobody likes me," that's not reality. That's fear speaking with confidence. Your thoughts are not truths delivered from heaven. They're guesses, interpretations, old wounds talking. Epictetus taught, "We are disturbed not by things, but by the views we take of them." Read that until it breaks something open inside you. The event is neutral. Your thought about the event gives it power. You don't fail and feel pain. You fail, think "I'm worthless," and then feel pain. The thought is the bridge between experience and suffering. Picture this. You're sitting by a river. Leaves float past on the water. Some are beautiful, some are rotting. Do you grab every leaf? Do you hold the disgusting ones close and say, "This is mine now"? Nah, you watch them pass. That's what you need to do with thoughts. Watch them. Don't grab them. Don't make them yours. Your mind is trying to protect you, but it's using outdated methods. It remembers every pain, every rejection, every failure, and it warns you constantly. Don't try. You'll get hurt again. It thinks it's helping. It thinks it's keeping you safe. But safety and growth don't live in the same house. Sometimes the thoughts that feel most urgent are the ones that deserve the least attention. Try this right now. When a negative thought appears, say, "I'm noticing the thought that I'm not good enough." Not, "I'm not good enough," but "I'm noticing the thought." Feel that space, that distance. That's freedom. That's you remembering you are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Every thought that enters your mind is asking for permission to stay. You are the gatekeeper. You decide what gets in. Some thoughts knock on your door and you need to say, "Thank you for your concern, but I don't need you right now." Then close the door, gently, firmly. Cognitive science proves this. Thoughts are mental events, not facts about reality. They're electrical signals in your brain, influenced by your mood, your sleep, your blood sugar, your past. A thought that says, "I'm terrible," when you're tired and hungry, holds the same weight as a thought that says, "I can fly." Neither is true just because your brain produced it. Start paying attention today. Become a thought detective. When something goes wrong, pause. What is your mind telling you? Is it being fair or fearful? Is it speaking truth or trauma? Is it helping you grow or keeping you caged? The moment you notice is the moment you gain power. The quality of your life is directly linked to the quality of your thoughts. But here's the beautiful part. You're not stuck with the thoughts you have today. You can question them, challenge them, replace them. You can choose thoughts that serve your growth instead of feeding your fear. This is where freedom lives, in the space between the thought appearing and you deciding whether to believe it. In that space, you are powerful. In that space, you are free. Number 2. The voice of your inner critic isn't yours. Close your eyes and listen to that harsh voice in your head. Really listen. Whose voice is it? I bet it's not yours. It's your father's disappointment, your mother's anxiety, your teacher's impatience, your ex's cruelty. That voice criticizing you isn't original. It's an echo, a recording, a ghost from your past that you've let move into your present. Carl Jung said something that should shake you awake. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. You think you're choosing to think negatively. You're not. You're replaying someone else's words. You've internalized voices that were never meant to live inside you. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall, they get up, they try again. They don't say, "I'm such a failure. Walking isn't for me. Everyone else can do it, but I can't." They haven't learned self-hatred yet. That comes later. That comes from adults who projected their pain onto innocence. Your inner critic speaks in extremes, always, never, everyone, nobody. These words aren't accurate. They're emotional weapons. "I never do anything right" is a lie your pain tells when one thing goes wrong. It's not truth. It's trauma speaking. Here's what changes everything. You can fire that voice. You can choose a new narrator. Instead of the critic who tears you down, you can become the mentor who builds you up. Someone who sees your potential, someone who believes in your growth, someone who offers grace instead of judgment. Start by simply noticing when the critic speaks. Don't fight it. Fighting it gives it power. Just notice. There's that voice again. There's that old recording playing. Then ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, why are you saying it to yourself? Replace criticism with curiosity. Not, why am I so stupid? But, what can I learn from this? Not, I'm a mess. But, I'm going through something difficult, and that's human. The words you choose create your reality. They determine whether you feel defeated or determined. Buddhism teaches loving kindness meditation, directing compassion toward yourself first. Not because you're selfish, but because you can't give what you don't have. You can't offer grace to others while withholding it from yourself. When you speak kindly to yourself, that kindness overflows into everything you touch. This week, try something radical. When you make a mistake, pause, breathe. Say out loud, I'm learning, I'm human, I'm doing my best. It might feel false at first. Say it anyway. Repetition creates belief. And these words are truer than any criticism you've been feeding yourself. The inner critic is loud because you've practiced listening to it for years. Decades, maybe. But volume isn't validity. Just because it's loud doesn't mean it's right. Every time you choose a kinder thought, you turn down its volume. Every time you speak to yourself with compassion, you strengthen a different voice, the voice of truth, wisdom, love. You didn't create that critical voice on your own. It was taught to you, installed in you, programmed into you. But here's the power you've always had. You can reprogram it. You can choose new words, new tones, new messages. You can become the voice that saves you instead of the voice that drowns you. If you're choosing a new inner voice today, type in comments, I speak to myself with love. Number 3, comparison is stealing your joy. You're scrolling. Everyone's winning. Everyone's glowing. Everyone's living their best life. Their body is perfect. Their relationship is goals. Their success is effortless. And you? You feel invisible, inadequate, left behind. This is the trap. This is the theft. This is comparison stealing the only thing that truly matters, your peace. Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy. But it's worse than that. Comparison is the thief of presence. It steals your ability to see your own progress. It blinds you to your own blessings. It makes you hate your chapter 3 because someone else is on chapter 20. You're comparing your reality to their highlight reel, their vacation, not their debt, their promotion, not their rejection letters, their smile, not their tears. You see the mountaintop. You don't see the climb. You don't see the falls. You don't see the blood on their knees from crawling when they couldn't walk. Social media has turned comparison into an addiction, an endless feed of proof that everyone else has it figured out. But it's a lie. a curated lie, filtered, edited, carefully selected moments designed to look effortless when they cost everything. But even without social media, comparison existed. It's human to look around and wonder if you measure up. The problem isn't the glance, it's the stare. It's when you use their success as evidence of your failure, when you make their journey proof that something's wrong with yours. Listen to me, your path is yours alone. Nobody else has your combination of gifts, scars, dreams, and destiny. You're not supposed to look like them, move like them, win like them. You're supposed to become the fullest expression of yourself, not a cheap copy of someone else's life. The Stoics practiced focusing on what's within their control. You can't control their timeline. You can't control their advantages. You can't control their luck or privilege. But you can control where you place your attention. You can control whether you celebrate their win or resent it. You can control whether you focus on what you lack or what you have. Start a gratitude practice. Every morning, name 3 things going right in your life. Not perfect, just right. Your health, your friend, your persistence. These things are real. They're yours. They matter more than any stranger's Instagram post. When you catch yourself comparing, redirect immediately. Instead of, "They have what I want," try, "Their success shows me what's possible." Instead of, "I'm so far behind," try, "I'm exactly where I need to be to learn what I need to learn." The shift is subtle but seismic. Celebrate other people, genuinely. Their success doesn't diminish yours. The universe isn't running out of blessings. There's enough sunlight for every flower, enough rain for every seed. When you cheer for others, you free yourself from the prison of competition. You remember we're all just trying to grow. Run your own race, at your own pace, toward your own finish line. Because here's the secret they don't tell you. Everyone's finish line is different. You're not competing with them. You're becoming who you were meant to be. And that person is incomparable. Stop measuring your worth against someone else's ruler. Build your own measurement. Define your own success. Celebrate your own growth. Your journey is sacred, unique, unrepeatable. Don't waste it wishing it looked like someone else's. If you're done comparing and ready to start living, type in the comments, "I celebrate my unique path." Number 4. Mistakes don't define you. You made a mistake. Maybe yesterday, maybe years ago, and you're still there, still replaying it, still using it as evidence that you're broken, still letting one moment define your entire existence. But here's the truth that will set you free. Mistakes are events, not identities. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about failure, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He understood something profound. Mistakes aren't proof you're broken. They're proof you're brave enough to try. You didn't fail. You experienced failure. You didn't mess up your life. You had a moment that didn't go as planned. The mistake is something that happened. It's not who you are. But when you fuse your identity with your errors, you trap yourself in a prison made of shame. Understand the difference. Shame says, "I am bad." Guilt says, "I did something bad." One attacks your character. One addresses your behavior. Shame keeps you stuck. Guilt helps you grow. The difference is freedom. Your brain has a negativity bias. It remembers mistakes more vividly than successes because evolutionarily, remembering danger kept your ancestors alive. But in modern life, this bias doesn't serve you. It makes you replay your worst moments while forgetting your best ones. It makes you define yourself by your lowest point instead of your highest potential. Think about the people you love. Do you define them by their worst day? Do you hold their mistakes against them forever? Nah. You see them with compassion. You give them grace. You understand they're human. So why can't you give yourself the same grace? Every person you admire has failed spectacularly. Every leader you respect has made mistakes. Every success story you celebrate includes chapters of falling flat on their face. The difference isn't perfection. It's resilience. It's getting up. It's learning. It's trying again. Mistakes are data, information, teachers. They show you what doesn't work so you can discover what does. When a scientist's experiment fails, they don't quit science. They adjust the hypothesis. They try differently. Your life is the experiment. Your mistakes are the results guiding you toward better methods. Stop punishing yourself for being human. Stop holding yourself to a standard that nobody on this planet can meet. Perfection is not the goal. Growth is the goal. Becoming a little wiser, a little kinder, a little braver than you were yesterday, that's the goal. Forgive yourself. Not because what you did was okay, not because it didn't matter, but because carrying the weight of your past is preventing you from stepping into your future. Forgiveness doesn't erase the mistake. It releases you from the prison of shame so you can move forward. Reframe your self-talk immediately. Instead of, "I'm such an idiot," try, "I made a choice that didn't work out, and now I know better." Instead of, "I ruin everything," try, "This situation didn't go well, and I'm learning from it." The words you use shape whether you see yourself as hopeless or capable of change. You are not your mistakes. You are not your worst day. You are not the sum of everything you wish you could undo. You are a person learning, evolving, becoming. You are worthy of forgiveness. You are worthy of grace. You are worthy of starting again, as many times as it takes. If you're ready to release the shame and embrace the lesson, type in the comments, "I am more than my mistakes." Number 5. You don't need permission to start over. There's something you want to change, something you want to release, something you want to begin. But you're waiting for the right moment, waiting for someone to tell you it's okay, waiting for permission that will never come. Because nobody is going to give you permission to live your life. You have to give it to yourself. Mary Oliver asked in her poem, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Not what others think you should do, what you plan to do. Your life is yours. Your choices are yours. Your fresh start is yours to claim right now. You don't need to wait until Monday. You don't need January 1st. You don't need to feel ready because you might never feel ready. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Change doesn't wait for perfect conditions. The right time is now, this moment, this breath. Maybe you're thinking, "But I've tried before and failed." Good. That means you're courageous. That means you know what doesn't work. Every ending is information for a better beginning. Every closed door teaches you which doors to open next. Society puts timelines on success. Graduate by this age, marry by that age, achieve this by then. But life isn't a race with a universal finish line. You can start a new career at 40, go back to school at 50, reinvent yourself at 60. Age is not a barrier, fear is. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to want something different than you wanted 5 years ago. You're allowed to outgrow old versions of yourself. You're allowed to release goals that no longer serve you and chase dreams that set you on fire today. Evolution is not betrayal. The Japanese have a concept, kaizen, continuous improvement through small, consistent changes. You don't have to transform overnight. You don't have to become someone completely different by tomorrow. Just take one small step today, then another tomorrow. Small steps, taken consistently, lead to extraordinary places. What's stopping you isn't ability. It's the story you're telling yourself. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have money. I don't have time. People will judge. These are real concerns, but they're not walls. They're hurdles, and hurdles can be jumped. Starting over doesn't mean your past was wasted. Every experience taught you something. Every challenge strengthened you. Every mistake gave you wisdom. You're not throwing away your history. You're building on it. You're using everything you've learned to create something better. Give yourself permission to be a beginner again. Give yourself permission to not have all the answers. Give yourself permission to stumble, learn, and figure it out as you go. Nobody starts as a master. Mastery comes from daring to start. Right now, decide one thing you're going to change, one habit you're breaking, one dream you're pursuing, one truth you're living. Don't announce it. Don't wait for applause. Just begin. Quietly, powerfully. Today, you are not stuck. You are not trapped. You are not doomed to repeat the past. Every single moment is a chance to choose differently, to speak differently, to act differently, to become differently. The power has always been yours. Now use it. Stop asking for permission from people who don't own your life. Stop waiting for validation from people who don't understand your vision. Stop delaying your dreams because of fear dressed up as wisdom. Start today, now. This moment is all you have. Don't waste it waiting. If you're ready to start over without asking anyone else, type in the comments, I give myself permission. Number 6. Your worth isn't measured by productivity. You're exhausted, running on empty, but you can't stop, can't rest. Because rest feels like weakness, slowing down feels like failure. You've built your entire sense of worth on what you accomplish, how much you produce, how busy you look, and it's killing you slowly from the inside. Lao Tzu wrote, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Trees don't stress about growing fast enough. Rivers don't apologize for their pace. Seasons change without rushing. Yet you've convinced yourself that your value depends on constant motion, endless achievement, perpetual doing. You are not a machine. You're a human being, not a human doing. Your worth was established the day you were born, not earned through achievements. You don't become more valuable when you finish your to-do list. You don't become less valuable when you rest. Hustle culture has taught you a dangerous lie, that rest is laziness, that boundaries are selfishness, that saying no is disappointing people. So you say yes when you mean no. You work when you need sleep. You push when you need pause. And you wonder why success feels empty. Your body is screaming at you. Fatigue, anxiety, tension, pain. These aren't inconveniences to power through. They're messages begging you to slow down. When you ignore them, they get louder. Your body will force you to rest eventually, either by choice or by collapse. Think about the people you love. Do you love them for what they do or who they are? Do you care about your friend because of their job title or their heart? The answer is obvious. So why do you judge yourself by standards you don't apply to anyone else? There's a difference between ambition and anxiety. Ambition says, I want to grow. Anxiety says, I'm not enough unless I achieve. Ambition is fuel. Anxiety dressed as ambition is destruction. Learn to tell the difference. Rest is not a reward for productivity. Rest is a requirement for being human. You don't have to earn the right to take care of yourself. You don't have to justify needing a break. Your worthiness isn't up for debate based on today's output. Here's the irony. When you rest properly, you become more effective. Your creativity increases. Your focus sharpens. Your problem-solving improves. Rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's the foundation. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't run on fumes forever. Practice the art of enough. Enough work for today. Enough striving for this season. Enough proving for this lifetime. You are already enough. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. A human being worthy of rest, peace, and existence without justification. Set boundaries without guilt. Say no without over-explaining. Take breaks without apologizing. Your time is yours. Your energy is precious. Your peace is worth protecting. People who truly care will understand. People who don't, they're teaching you who deserves access to your life. What if you measured success differently? Not by how much you did, but by how present you were. Not by how busy you looked, but by how peaceful you felt. Not by external achievements, but by internal alignment. Success isn't doing everything. It's doing what matters and releasing what doesn't. You are worthy right now, in this exact moment, as you are. Not after you finish the project, not after you reach the goal, not after you prove yourself one more time. Right now, your existence is enough. Your being is enough. You are enough. If you're ready to rest without guilt, type in the comments, "I am enough without the hustle." Number 7. Healing isn't linear. You thought you were getting better. You had good days, strong days, days where you felt like yourself again. And then suddenly, you're back. Back in the darkness. Back in the pain. Back in the struggle you thought you'd overcome. And you feel like you failed. Like all your progress was illusion. Like you're right back at the beginning. But here's the truth. Healing doesn't move in straight lines. It spirals. It ebbs and flows. It takes 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And that's not failure. That's exactly how healing works. Carl Jung understood this. Healing means integration, not perfection. It means facing the same wounds at deeper levels, not erasing them completely. Each time you revisit a painful place, you're not starting over. You're processing it with more wisdom, more strength, more tools than you had before. Think of healing like climbing a mountain in spirals. You circle around, sometimes feeling like you're covering familiar ground, but you're not at the same elevation. You're higher, you see more, you understand more. The path feels familiar, but you're not the same person walking it. Bad days don't erase good days. A setback doesn't undo months of progress. That difficult moment yesterday doesn't cancel the growth you've achieved. You're not back at the beginning. You're in a new place with old feelings. And that's different. Your triggers will still trigger. Your wounds will still be tender. Your trauma will still echo. But each time you face them, you get stronger. Each time you survive them, you build evidence that you can survive them again. Each time you choose healing, you're creating new pathways, new patterns, new possibilities. Stop comparing your healing to others' timelines. Stop judging yourself for not being over it yet. There's no deadline on processing pain. There's no expiration date on healing. Some wounds are deep, some take time. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. Rumi wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you. Your pain isn't pointless. Your struggle isn't meaningless. Every difficult moment is teaching you about your strength, your capacity, your resilience. You're not broken. You're breaking open. Celebrate the small victories nobody sees. You got out of bed today. You faced your fear. You asked for help. You didn't give up. These aren't small things. These are acts of courage. These are evidence of healing, even when it doesn't feel like enough. There will be days when you feel like you're drowning again. Days when old patterns resurface. Days when you question if healing is even possible. On those days, remember, you've survived every difficult day so far. 100% success rate. That's not luck. That's strength. Healing requires patience you don't feel like you have. It requires trust when you're tired of trusting. It requires you to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. But you don't have to heal perfectly. You just have to keep healing honestly. Give yourself grace for the hard days. Give yourself credit for progress you can't see. Give yourself permission to heal at your own pace, in your own way, on your own timeline. You're not racing anyone. You're not competing with anyone. You're simply becoming whole again, one imperfect day at a time. The spiral isn't taking you backward, it's taking you deeper, and deeper is where the real healing lives. So, keep going, keep healing, keep trusting the process, even when the process feels broken. You're not broken, you're becoming. If you're giving yourself grace for the non-linear path, type in the comments, "I trust my healing journey." Number 8. Silence the what if that steals your peace. What if it doesn't work? What if they reject you? What if you fail? What if you're not ready? What if everything falls apart? These questions are vultures circling your mind. They keep you awake at night. They paralyze you during the day. They steal your present by filling it with fear about a future that hasn't happened and might never happen. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most things you worry about never occur. You've survived countless fears that turned out to be nothing, yet your mind keeps manufacturing new ones, keeps asking what if, keeps preparing for disasters that exist only in thought. Here's what if really does. It keeps you stuck. It gives you reasons not to try. It provides justification for staying small, staying safe, staying comfortable. Because if you never risk, you never fail. But you also never succeed. You never grow. You never live. Your brain is designed to predict danger. It's trying to protect you, but it can't tell the difference between real threats and imagined ones. It treats the possibility of embarrassment the same as physical harm. Your nervous system responds to, what if they laugh, the same way it responds to, what if there's a bear? But these aren't the same. What if you asked different questions? What if it does work? What if they say yes? What if you succeed beyond imagination? What if you're more ready than you think? What if everything comes together beautifully? These questions are equally possible, but you don't ask them because hope feels more dangerous than fear. Fear disguises itself as preparation. I'm just being realistic, you tell yourself. I'm just thinking ahead. But there's a difference between planning and anxiety. Planning asks, what's my next step? Anxiety asks, what's the worst that could happen? And replays it endlessly. Truth is, you can't control most outcomes. You can't guarantee results. You can't eliminate all risk. Life is uncertain by nature, but you can control this, whether you let fear make your decisions, whether you let what if steal your dreams before you even try. Every person who did something meaningful faced the same what ifs. Every artist before creating, every entrepreneur before launching, every person before saying, I love you. The difference isn't that brave people don't feel fear, it's that they act despite it. They feel the what if and move forward anyway. Start catching yourself when what if thinking begins. Notice it, name it. There's my mind trying to predict the future again. Then redirect. Bring yourself back to now. What do you know right now? What can you do right now? What's actually happening right now, not in the imagined future? Practice the pause. When anxiety grips you, take 3 deep breaths. Feel your feet on the ground. Look around. Name 5 things you can see. This brings you back to reality, back to the present, back to the only moment you have power in. Replace catastrophic thinking with realistic thinking, not blind optimism, but honest assessment. This might not work, and if it doesn't, I'll figure it out. I might fail, and if I do, I'll learn something. Things might go wrong, And if they do, I'll handle it. You've handled everything so far. You'll handle what comes next. The future unfolds whether you worry or not. Worry doesn't prevent bad things. It only prevents you from enjoying good things happening now. Choose presence over prediction. Choose action over anxiety. Choose living over endless mental rehearsal of things that might never be. Number 9. You're allowed to outgrow people and places. There are people in your life who knew the old you, the you who stayed quiet, the you who played small, the you who accepted less than you deserved, and now you're changing, growing, becoming, but they're uncomfortable with this new version. They want you to stay who you were because it makes them comfortable, and you feel guilty for evolving. Heraclitus said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man. Change is the only constant. You're not who you were last year. You won't be the same next year. This is natural. This is growth. This is life. But here's the painful truth. Not everyone can grow with you. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people are in your life for a season, not a lifetime. And that's okay. It doesn't make the love less real. It just means your paths are diverging. You've changed. Your values shifted. Your goals evolved. Conversations that once fulfilled you now feel empty. Places that felt like home now feel confining. Dreams you shared with people no longer align. And you feel guilty, like you're abandoning them, like you're being disloyal. But growth isn't betrayal. Choosing yourself isn't selfish. Creating space for your evolution isn't cruel. You can love people and still outgrow them. You can appreciate what they brought while acknowledging they're no longer aligned with where you're going. Some people will celebrate your growth. They'll encourage your dreams. They'll support your transformation. These are your people. Keep them close, but others will resist. They'll criticize. They'll try to guilt you. They'll say, "You've changed," like it's an insult. And maybe you have changed. Maybe that's exactly the point. You don't owe anyone your small self. You don't owe anyone stagnation to make them comfortable. You don't owe anyone the right to limit you just because they refuse to grow. Your first responsibility is to your own becoming. Letting go doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't require confrontation. Sometimes it's just a gentle release, spending less time together, creating boundaries, allowing the relationship to naturally become what it needs to be now, even if that's less than what it was. The same applies to places. That job that once excited you now drains you. That city that once inspired you now suffocates you. That environment that once served your growth now limits it. You're allowed to leave. You're allowed to seek spaces that match who you're becoming. Grief is part of this process. It's okay to mourn what was while moving toward what will be. You can feel sad about endings while knowing they're necessary. You can miss people while recognizing distance is healthier. You can honor the past while choosing the future. Your growth will threaten people standing still. Your light will make people uncomfortable who hide in darkness. Your courage will challenge people choosing comfort. This isn't your problem to fix. Your job isn't to shrink so others feel bigger. Your job is to become fully yourself. Trust the process of outgrowing. Trust that the right people will meet you at your new level. Trust that opportunities will align with your evolution. Trust that every ending makes space for a beginning that serves you better. You're not losing anything real. You're releasing what no longer fits so you can embrace what does. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to become who you were always meant to be, even if it means leaving behind who you used to be and the people who loved that version. If you're ready to outgrow without guilt, type in the comments, "I honor my evolution." Number 10. Your story isn't over. You're here, right now, reading these words. which means you're still breathing, still fighting, still hoping, even if that hope is barely a whisper. You've survived everything that tried to break you, every loss, every betrayal, every moment you thought you couldn't continue, and yet, here you are. That's not luck, that's power. F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote, "For what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be." Your story isn't finished. This chapter might be brutal, but it's not the final chapter. You're still writing. You're still becoming. The best parts of your story might still be unwritten. Maybe you're at a low point right now. Maybe you feel defeated. Maybe you've lost faith in yourself, in others, in better days. But low points aren't end points. They're turning points. They're where transformation begins, where you decide whether to give up or rise up. Every ending in your life has been a beginning in disguise. Every closed door pushed you toward one that needed to open. Every person who left made space for someone better. Every failed plan redirected you toward something more aligned. You couldn't see it then, but looking back, you can trace the pattern of how everything that fell apart made way for things to fall into place. Your past doesn't determine your future unless you let it. Yes, you've been hurt. Yes, you've failed. Yes, you've made mistakes. But none of that defines what happens next. Every single day is a blank page. Every morning is a chance to write something different. The pen is in your hand. Think about the moments you almost gave up but didn't. Think about times you felt hopeless but kept going anyway. Think about the strength you didn't know you had until you needed it. You've already proven your resilience. You've demonstrated your capacity to survive. This moment isn't different. You'll get through this too. The Japanese art of kintsugi teaches a powerful lesson. When pottery breaks, they repair it with gold, making the cracks beautiful. The bowl isn't destroyed by breaking, it's made more valuable because of it. You are the same. Your scars, your struggles, your broken places, they're not flaws. They're proof of survival, evidence of strength. You don't need to have it figured out. You don't need to know where you're going. You just need to take the next step, then the next, then the next. One step at a time, one day at a time, one choice at a time. That's how every meaningful journey happens. Not in giant leaps, but in persistent forward motion. Stop waiting for someday. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting to feel ready. The life you want starts with choices you make today. The person you want to become is built through actions you take now. This moment matters. You matter. Your story includes pain, but isn't defined by it. Your story includes failure, but isn't defined by it. Your story includes struggle, but isn't defined by it. Your story is about resilience, about courage, about a person who kept going when everything said to stop, about someone who chose hope when despair seemed easier. The ending hasn't been written yet. The final chapter is still blank, and you hold the pen. What will you write? What will you create? What will you become? The answer depends on what you choose right now, in this moment, with all the strength you've gathered from surviving everything that tried to break you. You are not defined by your darkest days. You are defined by the fact that you survived them. You are not measured by how many times you fell. You are measured by how many times you got back up. And you've gotten up every single time. That's not weakness. That's warrior energy. The world needs your story. The messy parts, the broken parts, the parts where you didn't know if you'd make it, but somehow did. Because someone out there is in the darkness right now, and your story might be the light that helps them find their way out. So, keep writing, keep becoming, keep choosing yourself, your healing, your growth, your future. The best chapters are often written after the hardest ones. The most beautiful mornings come after the longest nights. And your morning, it's coming. It's closer than you think. If you believe your best chapters are still ahead, type in the comments, "My story continues." You made it, all the way to the end. That says something about you. It says you're serious about changing. It says you're ready to stop letting negative thinking control your life. It says you're choosing yourself, your peace, your power. Everything we've walked through today comes down to one truth. You have power over your mind. Not total control, that's unrealistic, but power. The power to notice when your thoughts are lying, the power to question the critic's voice, the power to choose which thoughts deserve your energy and which need to be released into the wind. This journey won't be easy. Rewiring thought patterns you've practiced for years takes time, patience, commitment. Some days will be harder. Some moments you'll slip back into old patterns. That's okay. That's human. That's part of the process. What matters is that you keep choosing awareness, keep choosing compassion, keep choosing to speak to yourself like someone worthy of love. Remember, your thoughts are not facts. Your inner critic is not your true voice. Comparison steals your joy. Mistakes don't define you. You don't need permission to start over. Your worth isn't measured by productivity. Healing isn't linear. What if thinking steals your peace? You're allowed to outgrow people and places. And your story? Your story isn't over. You are not stuck. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. You are a masterpiece in progress, and that's beautiful. You are learning to be gentler with yourself, and that's revolutionary. You are someone who stayed through this entire video because something in you still believes better days are possible. Hold on to that belief. Feed it. Water it. Watch it grow into something that changes your entire life. Listen, I need you to do something before you go. Hit that like button, not for me, but as a promise to yourself that you're done living small. Drop your most powerful affirmation in the comments. Let's build a community of people choosing themselves. Share this with someone fighting the same battle in silence. Subscribe, because you need these reminders daily. You deserve daily encouragement. You deserve to remember your worth. You deserve to break free from negative self-thinking once and for all. Come back to this video on hard days. Let these words be your anchor when the storm returns. You are worthy. You are enough. You are becoming. And I promise you, your best days are still ahead. Let's make this the most powerful affirmation section on YouTube. I am worthy. I am enough. I am becoming.